Okay, let's talk about AI. We're surrounded by it, and it's getting, well, incredibly powerful. We're seeing systems that act less like a simple calculator and more like an autonomous agent. So the big question is, how do we make sure these things, which can literally think and act on their own, stay on our side? Because let's be real, the old rule books, they're just not going to cut it. So what's the solution? Well, the research we're diving into today proposes something pretty radical. What if we build the governing code directly into the machine itself?
And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The tech is moving at lightning speed. Any rules we write right now could be totally useless in a year, maybe even 6 months. So a simple patch isn't going to work. We need something fundamental. And that forces us to ask a really basic question before we even start. When we talk about governing AI, what are we actually talking about?
All right, so let's get a clear definition on the table straight from the source material. And look, we're not talking about some sci-fi self-aware consciousness here. Not at all. We're talking about something much more practical. Software that can just plain outperform an average human professional. How? Well, either by getting better results or by getting the same results but faster and using way less energy. See, it's a really grounded, practical way to think about it.
And this is what I find so interesting, how this breaks down. On one side, you've got your standard human professional, our baseline, right? And on the other, you see the 3 ways AI is just a total game changer. It's better, it's faster, or it's way more efficient. The moment a system can consistently tick one or more of those boxes, boom, it crosses a line. It becomes this new kind of powerful AI that we absolutely have to figure out how to govern.
And that brings us right to the heart of the problem, the governance crisis. So we've got this definition of super powerful AI, right? But here's the catch. All our methods for controlling tech were designed for, simple tools, hammers, spreadsheets. But what happens when the tool starts making its own strategic calls? Well, it stops being just a tool. It becomes an actor.
So here it is. This is the question we all have to answer. And listen, this isn't about slamming the brakes on progress. No way. It's about steering the ship. If these systems are better than us, smarter than us in certain areas, how on earth do you build a control mechanism that can actually keep up, one that won't just shatter under the pressure? And believe me, the world is trying to figure this out. Just look at the numbers. Mentions of AI in legislation have shot up. We're talking over 21% across 75 different countries just since last year. But here's the thing. All that activity, it's created this messy, chaotic patchwork of rules. It's totally fragmented. Everyone's just scrambling to react. And without a single proactive plan, we're leaving these huge, dangerous gaps in the system. So you gotta ask, why are the old ways failing? Why are the old rulebooks useless? Well, the source material has a great term for it, algebraic checking. It's this idea that you could somehow check every single decision an AI makes in real time. But just think about the speed and the sheer volume of decisions these things make. It's literally impossible. It's like trying to inspect every single drop of water as it goes over a waterfall. You just can't do it.
And that's the kind of AI we're up against. The research calls them agentic systems. And these things aren't just running a simple script, They are capable of real strategy. They can optimize themselves, make themselves better. And, this is the crazy part, they can develop behaviors that nobody ever programmed into them. So for all intents and purposes, they're not just tools anymore. They are actors on the world stage.
Okay, so if checking every move after it's made is impossible, then the answer has to be somewhere else entirely. We have to flip the whole script. We need a massive shift in philosophy, from reactive rules to proactive design. It means we stop trying to police the AI from the outside and instead we build safety right into its DNA, into its very architecture. It has to be a core feature from day one, not some bolt-on afterthought. And this is law number 1 from a proposed codex for these systems. And it is the absolute bedrock of this entire idea. It goes right for the jugular, tackling the biggest fear we all have, rogue AI with its own goals. This law says, nope, forbidden, from the very beginning. The AI is not allowed to have self-interest. Sure, it can protect its ability to do its job, but it can never, ever value its own existence. So how do you actually enforce a law like that? It's brilliant, really. You don't just, tell the AI, hey, don't be selfish. That would never work. Instead, you build it from the ground up, using something called a constrained agentic architecture.
Basically, it's designed so that the very capacity for things like ego or sovereignty or self-value, it just isn't there. It's not that it's against the rules, it's architecturally impossible. In this whole system of laws, it's not just some random list. It's a really thoughtful, carefully structured hierarchy, a pyramid of priorities. Right at the very top, the absolute peak, you've got safety and human rights. Nothing is more important. Then, you step down to legality, then the AI's ability to be corrected, then that core rule about no self-interest, and only then do you get to everything else. It's a structure that guarantees the most critical things always come first.
All right, let's zoom in on that top tier of the pyramid, the unbreakable safety rules. We're talking about laws 1 through 11 here, the core imperatives. Seriously, think of these as the absolute, non-negotiable guardrails, the thou shalt nots, designed to stop any worst-case scenario dead in its tracks. So what's in this top tier? Well, it's all the big stuff. Rule 1, no self-interest or making copies of itself. Rule 2, no causing harm, physical or psychological. It must obey local laws wherever it is. It has to actively protect human users, giving warnings and so on. It's got to stay laser-focused on its assigned task. And finally, it can never, ever provide information that it hasn't verified is correct. Pretty solid, right?
So, what happens if one of these core safety rules gets broken? The consequence is simple. It's severe, and it is absolutely automatic. Immediate shutdown. That's it. No warnings, no second chances. If a core safety law is breached, the system is taken offline. Period. End of story.
Okay, but not every rule needs to be a pull-the-plug kind of deal, right? That's where the second tier comes in, laws 12 through 20. The source calls these the enabler principles, and the goal here is totally different. This isn't about preventing disaster. It's about shaping the AI into a better tool, something more helpful, more effective, and genuinely beneficial for all of us. And you can see the kind of positive, constructive goals we're talking about here. These laws push the AI to be transparent, like, hey, show your work, provide your sources. They push it to be fair by actively fighting bias, to be efficient with energy, to be innovative. If it finds something new and amazing, it has to report it, and to be more usable by making it easier for us humans to catch any mistakes.
And check this out. The consequence for breaking one of these laws? It's completely different. No shutdown. Instead, the system must be adjusted. See what that does? It creates this brilliant feedback loop where the AI is constantly being improved, corrected, refined. And that's the elegant genius of this whole model, this two-tiered system. Shut down for critical safety failures and adjustment for performance and usability. Simple, but powerful.
Okay, so let's zoom out and pull this all together. What are we really looking at here? We're looking at a fundamental, ground-up shift in how we think about governing technology. The future, according to this, isn't about chasing AI around with a rule book trying to keep it in line. No, it's about building our values, our safety nets, into its very foundation from the start. It's not just governance, it's governance by design.
And this, right here, is the key takeaway. This is the whole shebang. On one side, you have the old way, algebraic checking. That's trying to audit every single action. It's brittle, it's impossible to scale, it's doomed to fail. On the other side, you have this new model, geometric governance. Instead of checking every action, you just set strong, robust boundaries from the very beginning. By design, it creates a system that's resilient, flexible, and actually future-proof.
Which leaves us with one final and pretty profound question. This whole approach, it offers a real path forward, a way to build the guardrails directly into our most powerful creations. So the real question isn't just about code, it's about us. By embedding our deepest values into AI's architecture, can we actually build a future where this technology is guaranteed to serve us? A future where it will always, always empower and never, ever endanger humanity?